Blog Talk Radio.
Greetings and welcome. This is your host, Tyler Hemp, or Tyler Hoff. Hemp Aware Radio here. We're excited and glad to have you on today's show. This Hempisode, I'm honored and blessed to have a world traveler, a hemp entrepreneur who's been working diligently to bring high-quality, all-natural, custom, and sometimes handmade hemp goods to the people of the earth. So I'm honored. It's a privilege to have Tyler Bell on today's show with Himalayan Hardware. It's a company that works predominantly in the U.S. and also brings products over from Nepal predominantly. Isn't that right, Tyler? Welcome aboard.
That's right. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So obviously we only have about 30 minutes on today's show. They go by real quick, but we like to keep them juicy and fun and exciting and entertaining. And so just to get right into the meat of the show, how were you introduced to hemp and what inspired you to start working with it?
Well, I've always kind of been aware of the hemp material and its benefits, and also aware that the industrial production in the U.S. has been quite limited. So when I kind of branched out and I traveled all over Asia and I visited many countries, and I was looking for places that I could bring my different designs. I wanted to do garments and some handicraft, and I was looking at places that had, great manufacturing and great products. And when I went to Nepal, I found they had a decent hemp industry. And so that kind of turned the light bulb on and thought, that's a great product that's going to be in more demand as years go by. And it really helped me settle on choosing Nepal to manufacture my goods.
How fun. Awesome. And so you, how long did you know about hemp before you kind of, started working with it? Was it in your life before that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, certainly from a fairly young age, middle school and high school for sure, I was aware of this product and the proponents of it and the people that really were big fans of it, but it was, it's hard to get a little bit in the U.S. And relatively expensive because of the inavailability.
So you saw it as just a sustainable product. You saw more and more people were starting to use it, and so you wanted to obviously develop a company, and so what were some of the things that you wanted to start doing as far as bringing specific products to people in the market made of hemp? What are some of those that you enjoy working with or have brought to the market?
Well, a couple of factors that kind of made it is, I like things to be made with hands, handcrafted things, and the tailors running the things versus more of the big industrial operations that come out of China. And to go along with that, I really like the more natural and organic products that are good for the environment and are, for one, it's just good, all around for everyone. And it's sustainability-wise, it's something that can support itself.
Exactly. Awesome. And so let's talk a little bit more about Nepal. You've obviously, been there, worked, with the merchants and farmers and been able to develop relationships there. How is that? What's that like, as far as working with them on a business level versus working in the U.S. or something?
Yeah, it's a really interesting experience. And I think with everything, there's some pros and cons, and there's a way you do business with people. But overall, it's, the Nepalis are a fantastic people, very hardworking and honest. And it's great to go into some of these places where they're making the material and the manufacturing centers. It's just a very, handmade, hard work, people cranking out really cool products.
So according to your knowledge, how long has Nepal been working with hemp and growing it and making it into things? Well,
I know a little bit more about some of the recent history, but I also know their use of hemp goes back literally thousands of years. And primarily, the hemp was used to make like sitting mats and these large round baskets that are used to like clean rice and dry vegetables on, and uses like that. And typically that hemp has been much more of a thick weave and not really suitable for garments. So only in the last 10, 15 years have more better machines been available for the looming and the weaving process that they were able to produce garment quality hemp. So you have a mix of both kind of a thicker kind of hemp that's great for bags and shoes and mats, and now we see a lot more of the finer quality garment material that we can do shirts and trousers with.
Interesting. So so nowadays you'll see a lot of different products coming out of Nepal, or like versus back in the day maybe it was more specialized, handmade, like cushions or mats or these rice things that you were describing. What like over the years, what have they been number one, like best known for making out of hemp?
It would absolutely be, the thicker material stuff, and that would be a lot of backpacks and bags. That's primarily, when you go back a number of years when production first started, what kind of came out. And so as I mentioned now, just kind of in recent years, they've got a little bit better manufacturing techniques, and we're getting the finer weave garment quality material.
Excellent. Very cool. Yeah, I actually just picked up a couple of shirts myself. I'm really excited about them. I've been getting compliments, and I love the style. It's got some nice wooden buttons, 3 coming down the front, and short sleeve. It's fun. So where can people learn more about your company and start getting your products?
Well, I'm at HimalayaHardware.com. And there you'll find links. We retail on eBay and Amazon and that website. And we've got a fairly new Facebook page you can find on there. And furthermore, this Saturday, I'm going to be at a hemp expo in Loveland, Colorado. And that's called the NOCO Hemp Expo.
Excellent. North Colorado or NOCO Hemp Expo in Loveland, Colorado. Do you happen to know that website offhand? I'm sure you can just Google it. Actually,
the website I don't have offhand. It's this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I know if you just Google that, you'll find the link to that. Perfect.
Okay, so as far as, I think you already described some of your favorite products to work with, and now let's talk more specifically, like as far as your business and Himalaya Hardware. What are some of the principles that you use to succeed in your hemp business and continue going? Because it can be challenging at times, maybe not for you, but as far as markets and seasons, and how do you do it?
Yeah, really it's an emphasis on, that handmade product, somebody sitting down and putting their own love and craft into the things they make. And I do other products as well. I do handmade wood masks, which are fantastic out of Nepal. And I do a line of wool hats, which are really great sellers in the winter months. And those also are primarily handmade. And I have a women's group that I work with that they're given vocational skills to learn knitting, and then they can learn a living by, knitting all these things up. So, I like to support ventures like that. And a lot of the hemp I get comes from more rural areas. So, it can be difficult sometimes with the supply. Maybe they have it, maybe they don't when I'm ready for it. But, it's so beneficial to these communities to grow something that's wanted by the outside world, and they can bring in finances, other than just growing crops that they need.
Exactly. Awesome. So by you coming and contracting with them, they're able to continue their traditions, so to speak, or their crafts and their skills.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So, with that said, how do you see the future of the hemp plant itself, but also the planet in relationship to the hemp plant?
Well, it's absolutely going to be a more in-demand product as the years go by. And with the legalization movement in the U.S., those products are going to become more in demand. And, we're all aware of the green movement and the push to be more environmentally friendly and take care of our planet. And the qualities and the benefits of hemp, with how easy it is to grow, how much product you can get out of a small area of land. These are going to be things that are going to make people gravitate towards the hemp and utilize it. I'm just utilizing it for garments and bags, but it's got a multiple uses for food and building materials. So it'll definitely be a go-to product as the years go by.
Yeah, I completely agree. People are waking up more and more to the ease and the abundance of this plant, because it's, like you were saying, not only can provide food, but, shelter, clothing, and all these ancillary, fun, creative things that we can create, whether it's a guitar or a drum or a table or all these, wood products potentially that could be made from the hemp plant. It's
absolutely
just so abundant. And so I love what you're doing. I love the style that you're bringing with Himalaya Hardware, and I look forward to being able to offer some of your products in the very near future on our sites, and hopefully we'll have you at one of our events in the near future. Empowering the people, and
maybe we'd love to be able to attend.
We'll have a fashion show and have some people. Display the hempen regalia that you're offering.
Absolutely.
So, how does Nepal, differ from based on your experience? I don't know if you've seen, products obviously coming from Canada, like hemp seeds and hemp seed oil, and there's products coming out of Germany and England, and over 30 industrialized nations, and Nepal seems to be more of like a historical, ancient, handmade, like very high quality production. How does it differ in your experience, like with other products coming from other countries? Like, do they also produce hemp foods out of Nepal, or is it strictly textile material?
Right now, I don't think there's much, if any, food production coming out of Nepal. It's pretty much kind of the garment level stuff. I know China, right to the north of Nepal, is the biggest hemp producer in the world, and occasionally I'll see where people have brought in some of those different products, some more durable building materials and some hemp oils and some hemp protein powder and things like that. But as far as the production in Nepal, they're primarily concerned with the thicker weave for bags and then the more garment quality items.
And obviously in the Western world, there's a major stigma around the medicinal or female aspect of the cannabis plant. There's controversy, or there's been demonization. Is that happening in Nepal? Or has it happened?
It's happened to some degree, and I think. And with the culture of Nepal, they're Hindu. And one of the primary gods in Hinduism is Shiva, and he is considered the lord of bhang. And bhang is essentially a mixture made from the marijuana plant that, induces the same, like smoking it or anything else. So they have a history of using it for religious means, and there's actually a holiday every year called Shivaratri, and that's the festival for Shiva, and it's very common that the people quite old age all the way down to people probably too young will ingest bhang and charas and marijuana, as a religious use.
So they're drinking it in a concoction, not necessarily burning it.
No, not necessarily. It's they'll often put it into what's called a lassi, which is basically like a yogurt milkshake, and it's called a bong lassi. And they'll make this, and then they'll make little candy type things out of it, and smoking as well. But primarily it's that drink, I would say.
And bong is B-A-H-N-G, or B-A-N-G, or?
Yeah, it's spelled B-H-A-N-G, bong.
B-H-A-N-G. Interesting. So I'm wondering if that's where the Western term for the apparatus that is used for medicinal or recreational cannabis, the water pipe, if that was named after.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know for sure. That would be interesting to look up the etymology on that. But I know we get a lot of words from Sanskrit, and Nepali and Hindi is all Sanskrit-based. So it's very likely.
Yeah, and even the word cannabis or the plant, cannabis sativa, sattva or sativa is means bliss. You've reached samadhi or sativa or satori, or it's that central place of knowing who you are, knowing your domain.
Yeah.
So, but this plant is really, in my opinion, a mystical plant, and it does have that spiritual quality to it. Not only does it have the physical, down to earth, benefits of food, shelter, clothing, like let's get our basic needs met, but it also provides the substance to have spiritual expansion or creative expansion in the world, in our homes. But once we have our food and shelter and clothing met, that's when we can get creative and start thinking beyond, survival needs. And so this plant for me is a I guess it's a gateway, experience to experiencing abundance on this planet.
Yeah, that's right. It really is a fantastic plant with possibilities all over the board, and it kind of go to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And once we can use it for to get the food, shelter, clothing down, there's other uses for it that can be explored.
So as far as on your end, how have you been involved in the development of products? Do you kind of like go and meet farmers, or do you meet developers of products and you say, I really like that, and kind of tweak it a little bit, or do you kind of start from scratch and just get out a piece of paper and say, this is what I want to find or create?
Yeah, a mix of both. I go to the places where they're manufacturing and see what they're doing and see what they're coming out with, what kind of material, and then I kind of hit the drawing board and I get some designs out, and I come up with a lot of variations of stuff, and then I meet with a master tailor person. And so this person is experienced in making garment patterns and can guide me a little bit on some things, yes or no, that I would like to do. And then by working with there, we make the patterns, and by that time I've got the material purchased and on the lockdown, and we'll do different runs of the clothing.
Oh, fun. Well, that's awesome. So you've worked with obviously clothing and tailoring clothing, and then you also provide bags and shoes and like scarves and ancillary kind of things for these outfits. Yep. Have you gotten to experience, or have you seen in Nepal, like the farmers or the people that are making the products, do they use hemp like to build their homes, or have you seen like things happening there that we may not?
Yeah, kind of the things I mentioned before, the mats and like the little vegetable baskets and stuff, those are still very much in use. And those things, go back thousands of years, they were using that material to make that. And those things are still made today, and and every household probably has a mat like that, and definitely in the rural countryside they all have these mats. And every household has these round, flat baskets that you use to flip rice and dry vegetables in the sun. So those things are very much in use. As far as the garments and wearing, a little bit, and you still kind of have The traditional way to dress, which for women is saris, made out of cotton typically, or silk for nice occasions. And the men, they dress very businesslike in button-up shirts and slacks. And you don't see a lot of Nepalis, older generation, but a lot of the younger ones are more into fashion and wear a lot of the things that you will see for sale in the tourist district.
And is hemp as as popular as it is here, or will you see people in the streets wearing hemp?
A little bit, that younger generation. But you will definitely see, a lot of the tourists. They're all carrying hemp bags and little hemp pouches. And when they come there and they discover these hemp products, they're really excited for it. And it's a very popular thing within the tourist district. As far as the local people, it's not so much. Probably more to the younger generation.
Kind of here, basically, like in California or Colorado, places where you're seeing it. It's generally seeming to be more. I mean, there obviously are the old timers, which I want to acknowledge and give respect to. There's been people out there for 30 years on the forefront of the hemp movement and educating and just trying to get through the political agenda or propaganda, stigma creative machine that's out there. Trying to create confusion. Rather than, clear the confusion and let people know the truth, which is what we're here doing. And it just feels so good, to be connecting with someone like yourself who's bringing a product to the market that is sustainable, that is green, that is, harmless to the planet and actually benefits the soil and benefits the people that work with it. I mean, it's really just a God-given gift of life. It's an honor.
And that's what I'm trying to do too. I've kind of curtailed my products less away from, for lack of a better term, the typical hippie clothes that Nepal would produce, and I'm doing some more, general designs that are more appealing to a broader audience. So, they're the typical designs, button-up shirts and yoga pants and canvas shorts and trousers that really anybody could wear, and a businessman could wear them to work, on a casual Friday, and they really can appeal to more people than just maybe a younger crowd who already knows about hemp and is into it.
Right. I used to use the hemp backpacks and the things that were a little more blatant. Now I'm a little more business. As I've aged over the years, I tend to get as professional and clean cut as possible. I just like that feeling. And
I talk to a lot of the people I wholesale to, and I kind of ask them, though, do you want an explicit, hemp leaf on the things, and what's their preference for that, if what their customers like. And it is kind of about right in the middle. Some people kind of have that younger customer base and they like it, and other people, don't really want that, a hemp leaf very visible on it, because no one's going to wear that to work necessarily. So there still is a stigma, and I feel if we just come kind of grassroots style, and kind of like the theme of Himalaya Hardware, from the mountains to your home, and home is where the hemp is one of our expressions, and so we're just slowly bringing it into the home, because everybody has one, and even if their home is in a box under the bridge, they still have a home, and Earth is our home. So we're bringing hemp back home, essentially back to the earth and back to the people and into our homes and into our lives. And so it's been an honor to have you on today's show. Hemp has a lot of good qualities, more beneficial than cotton, for example. So, as we need to make the marketplace and the people out there more aware of these things, and they can see the benefit for using a hemp material, the sustainability versus something like cotton. Yeah, and we're not against other products, like you were saying. You offer wool, you offer silk, you offer cotton, other products that are out there. But hemp is one of those stronger,
more durable, longer lasting, versatile plants. You can only do so many things with a silk plant, but hemp
absolutely
has that versatility, and so that's why we want to bring it back to the people. And
hemp is kind of the main material of choice, and I'm going to be expanding more into other materials like soybean, wild nettle, and banana leaf, which are all produced in Nepal. And some of those have great qualities and are really interesting too. And it's very interesting when you start to do some mixes on some of those things. I do hemp cotton, but for example, soybean is like a really soft, stretchy, like a silk kind of feel. And a blend of soy and hemp is a very nice touch and a very durable garment.
I'd love to see that. How cool.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting more into that. Switching more into pure vegetable dyes, which I do use azo-free dyes, which are European standard for environmentally friendly. But they do some really good things with veg dyes coming out of Nepal too nowadays, and they can get really nice dark colors, nice dark blues and earthy greens and browns, which are quite hard to do with a veg dye. Typically, it's very light colors you get.
And tend to like different fade. Like the colors will kind of fade into lighter black and dark. Yeah. Right,
and I think they're really coming around on that, and they're having a much more durable dye that will stick from these veg dyes. And furthermore, you mentioned some of the buttons on some of the shirts you've got of mine, and those are all hand carved coconut shell, and I do bone also, which comes from the water buffalo. And so these are all hand-carved, and, even on the buttons, I can bring different designs, whether it's little skulls, little leaves, all kinds of different things, and the craftsman will carve it out of that. And it's just, really nice touch that just goes together with the organic nature of everything I'm doing.
How fun and exciting. Yeah, that's really, really unique to be able to have it that fine-tuned or fine-tailored as you mentioned, so that's fun. If anybody out there is wanting to develop a product line, get a hold of us. You can call today at 805-410-4367, and we'd be happy to get you hooked up with hemp shirts, hemp shorts, hemp long sleeve button shirts, and custom design, custom printed, whatever it is that you guys require. We're here to
I'm always looking for some new people to work with, and look forward to collaborating with you in the future. And I love to do private label stuff and do custom embroidery and tags, and utilize all these tools I have available with the different materials and the different buttons, and come up with some really unique, cool designs.
Exactly. There's really no limit what we can create. So all you listeners out there, listen to your dreams, follow your dreams, and we're here to help you integrate hemp into those dreams. So make it a blessed day. If you had one last thing to share, Tyler, we're here, being Tylers together, tiling the foundation for a brighter future. So if you had one thing to share with the listeners that they could do to integrate hemp into their life, one free thing, what would you recommend, one action they could take today to bring more hemp to the earth and to themselves?
Yeah, I would say it would go out, and whether it's me or not, whether it's Himalaya Hardware or not, but add some hemp items into your wardrobe. Buy a couple things, try it for yourself, and I think you'll quite easily see the benefits for it. And then your word of mouth to other people is really the best thing you can do. And you can spread the word, and other people will become aware of it, and they can adopt it into their own lifestyle.
You heard it, folks. Spread the word. Spread the seeds of knowledge. Spread the seeds of truth.
Spread the seed.
This is Hemp Aware. You've got Tyler Bell, Himalaya Hardware, and Tyler Hemp with hempaware.com, Hemp Aware Radio. We love and appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Check out all the other Hempisodes on the iTunes podcast library, or go to hempaware.com/radio. Peace and love. Thanks so much for being on the show today, Tyler.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.